All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. And here I have a video titled, Why Beautiful Women Are Nuts, a Co-Created Problem. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is why beautiful women are nuts. So this is a complement to the episode that I recently released entitled Why Successful Men Are Jerks. From both genders' perspectives, it can often appear that the most attractive potential partners are, unfortunately, fundamentally flawed in other ways. However, what's interesting...
And that's something that you realize. When I was on my personal development journey, my self-improvement journey, I've seen, witnessed, and experienced where you talk to a really attractive woman and you realize that she's kind of messed up in the head. Not in like a ditzy type of way, but just like where she takes things is like a completely different level than the average person. And it's simply because they could get away with it. You get what I'm saying? Because they're attractive. However, I will say this, even though a lot of them are crazy, I will say this. Whenever I was on my personal development journey, self-improvement journey, and I was cold approaching women, the hotter she was, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they treated me the best. They rejected me the nicest. They were great at conversation, right? Whenever I approached those women, I would feel good about approaching those women. However, the 7s, 6s, 5s, 4s, 3, like the lower it got, the worse the experience. Where you see a bunch of women like freaking out or screaming or being dramatic about a guy or trying to put him down or crush his ego, they're usually like 4s and 5s, 3s, right? Because they need that type of ego boost, right? But the pretty girls, they get that, they don't need that. And so when something happens, they know that like, oh wait, this is rare. So let me make sure that I give him positive reinforcement so he knows how to do this again. But again, that's not every woman, but in my experience, the majority of the prettier women treated me extremely well in that regard.
Interesting is that how they appear flawed seems to be predictably gendered. Like, you don't often hear men complaining that beautiful women are assholes, do you? And today I'm here to explain why that might be the case. I've already talked about the men. Now it's time for women to get theirs. The reason why beautiful women are nuts is actually pretty simple. Here it is. Beautiful women are nuts because no one ever tells them the truth. Mm-hmm. That's it. There are some women out there who have never been told the truth in their entire fucking lives. Like, can you imagine? You've been alive 20.
And that's what you notice, right? I noticed that when I started going through the whole player phase is I realized I was listening to other people's games or how they talk to women, and you wouldn't believe the average guy, how many lies they tell this woman. Now, again, the reason why he's telling her those lies is because if you're the type of person that's like, you know what, I'm going to tell the truth. That's the type of person I am. I don't lie to women, right? Even when I was in my player days, I didn't lie to women, right? But what you notice is if you tell the truth, the odds of anything happening decreases dramatically versus the guys who are constantly lying to them. Their odds are going up because they're telling her exactly what she wants to hear. They're imagining her delusional worldview. This is why a lot of these girls have these exes as if they're like, oh, the worst people in the world. It's like, yeah, because you went after guys who will lie to you, and you rejected the guys who would tell you the truth. And deep down, you realize that guys who are telling you the truth are actually trying to help you, versus the guys who are lying to you are trying to hurt you.
20, 30 years and you've never been told the truth? Can you imagine how distorted a model of reality you would have? Like, you kind of have to feel sympathy for these women. Now, because they can be so out of touch with the way things actually work, they can often be the engineers of their own dissatisfaction. This is because while these women might not ever be at a loss for potential partners, eventually these guys are going to get so sick of their nuttiness that they're going to walk. Pretty is not sufficient compensation for crazy.
And that's why the most important thing that you as a man could build or a woman can be in is a strong family unit. No woman who has a strong masculine father or masculine brothers would ever allow that to slide, because the brothers and the dad would tell her the truth. They would be real with her. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they're telling her the truth to protect her. They're doing that because they actually care and like her, and they don't want anything that's between their legs. A strong father, strong brothers, they're going to say, hey, listen, you're pretty, that's great, but you like cut it out. Let's work on that character. Let's work on being humble. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give her the good qualities that makes her beautiful in the inside? How many pretty women have you met were rotten on the inside? And how many not so pretty women have you met who were absolutely gorgeous on the inside? Which one would you choose long term? Like, come on, it's a no-brainer.
These guys have to learn that the hard way. And these women end up snatching defeat from the jaws of success when they operate under bad models. So how does that happen? A lot of these women are precociously attractive. They hit puberty and they realize that everything changes. Men of all ages start looking at them differently, treating them differently. They start to stare, not just the boys in their class, but the boys' dads as well. And that can be terrifying and scary and exciting and confusing for young women to navigate. They've just come into a great deal of power that they did nothing to earn and don't yet know what to do with. And why would they? They're chronologically just...
And that's one of the things that I want to stop doing. I want to stop pretending as if women are these victims. Like, women are the first people. This woman is the first person who was ever pretty in her life, and that she has no idea what to do because she's pretty. Where is her mother? Where's the mom? The mom didn't hit puberty and realize the same things. They didn't have a conversation. There's no other pretty, like exceptionally pretty person who navigated that time in their life to give advice to younger pretty women. No, nothing. Like, come on, what are we talking about? One of the things that I'm stopped doing that's made my life so much more better. I stopped treating women like children. I stopped pretending that they're dumb, because they're not dumb. It's simply they didn't want to, or they didn't feel like. That's why I can't feel bad for you. You get what I'm saying? Because you had every opportunity to solve the issue and you decided that it'll solve itself, and it didn't.
Just teenagers, and they may be even younger than that emotionally. This isn't exactly a recipe for success. And from that moment forward, these women will never hear the truth from a man again. This is because all these men want to fuck her, and the truth does not get you laid. If being honest got men laid, the world would become such a nicer place to live, like overnight. It would become so much better. However, women only reward the truth when it happens to coincide with what they want to hear. And in this case, they're still rewarding it because it's what they want to hear. It just happens to also be the truth, which is something of a fortunate accident. They're like elementary school teachers who ask an apparently open-ended question to the entire class, but are actually fishing for a very specific answer the entire time. This is the only answer that will receive credit. Honesty does not get you laid, unless the honesty is exactly aligned with the responses women have already decided get the credit. And the likelihood of this happening, especially over an appreciable timeline, is vanishingly small. Only men who have an inordinate commitment to integrity, those who are able to put an abstract principle ahead of their own self-interest, or, I don't know, men on the autistic spectrum, are going to prefer honesty with all its social consequences to the prospect of a sexual relationship with a beautiful woman. This is why men lie. When you punish the truth, you're asking to be lied to. If you appreciate
listen, we can see this if you go watch the Chinese woman video. If you guys seen that, there was a section in that video where this girl is like, "Hey, I'm looking for this. Is that reasonable?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's reasonable." She's like, "I'm looking for this. Is this reasonable?" He's like, "Yeah, that's reasonable." He's like, "I'm looking for this. Is this reasonable?" He's like, "Yeah, that's reasonable." And then he started telling her the truth. He was like, if I was this perfect guy that you described, why would I go after somebody who's 35? Why wouldn't I just go after somebody who's younger? The moment he started talking, she was like, "Oh, I don't want to listen to this." And she immediately walked away. That's exactly what he's talking about. Versus if you were that guy, all you have to do is lie to her. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah," because she doesn't respect the truth or the guys who are willing to give her the truth. Crazy.
Women, of course, don't like hearing this. However, I'm going to offer an analogy to help them understand why this likely isn't changing anytime soon. Imagine you work for a company. It's a desirable position and it pays very well. You like your job. However, the only issue is that you have to deal with a really difficult manager. He might be overcompensating for something. Maybe he has a fragile ego. Maybe he's a narcissist. Who knows? All you know is that he really doesn't like being challenged. Like, it doesn't matter if he's wrong. It doesn't matter if there's an objectively more efficient or more effective or better way of doing things. Disagreement is construed as an attack, and he responds to attacks with aggression. You've seen it happen more than once. Some well-meaning employee thinks she's making a helpful suggestion to improve outcomes, and boom, she's looking for a new job by the end of the day. Given that you're dealing with a person like this, what are you going to do the next time he brings you an idea that you think isn't going to work? Are you really going to put your livelihood on the line and try to correct him? You know he's only going to fire you because he'll perceive this as an attack, and he's not going to change his mind anyway. Speaking your mind is not going to work, and it's only going to harm your goals. It would be pointless and masochistic to insist on the rightness of your perspective. So if you're like most people, what are you going to say? You know, boss, that's a fantastic idea. Absolutely. I could see how that could work. To be honest, it's probably too advanced for our design department, so it might have to be finessed a bit, but it's a genius idea. Must be why you're in charge, sir. And then you're going to walk away and try to do the best with the ridiculous bullshit you've just been given. Do you understand? Most people are not going to unnecessarily expose themselves to risk and loss where there is no hope of a potential upside. And that's exactly the situation most guys find themselves in when they tell the truth to women. Like the manager in my analogy, most women are not going to change their minds when they hear the truth. They've already decided what they want, and consequently what they want to hear, and they may already have a general model of reality that's been reinforced by years or decades of being lied to. This is not something that typically can be disabused with words, only with the accumulated consequences of many poor decisions. Like, can you imagine the manager in my hypothetical scenario hearing a dissenting viewpoint, even one that was presented respectfully, and saying, thank you for being honest with me. I realize now that you're the only person who tells me the truth, and that all of these toadies and sycophants have just been telling me what I wanted to hear all these years. For your courage and integrity, I immediately promote you to the position of my most trusted advisor. Of course, this comes with a substantial raise and a host of other benefits, so I hope that you'll accept. Like, can you imagine? When women are told the truth, they are much more likely to get upset, to feel offended, and to terminate the relationship than they are to reward men with sex and privileges.
Yep.
Men figure this out pretty quickly. Like the employee in my scenario, they figure, well, telling the truth isn't going to change this woman's mind, and it certainly hasn't helped me get laid, so I'm going to say whatever the fuck I have to say to make this work, and then I'm going to walk away and try to do my best with the ridiculous bullshit I've been given. To get with the...
And I'm going to say this, right? And I'm sure I can't remember every girl that I've talked to, but the way that I am now, like I said earlier, I don't lie to women. I don't. Because I actually don't want to deal with women who believe their own delusions and their own BS. It tells me that they're not coachable. So what usually happens, usually 95% of the women that I've run into who I've talked to try to initiate something further, if you, one, I need to see you upset. I need to see you angry. I need to see how you react. And then two, I need to see how you take having your worldview be wrong. I need to see that. I need to see if there's flaws. Right? Because what usually happens is, like he said, they get mad, they get angry, and then they either block you, cut you off, whatever. But there's that 5% who will hear you out and they'll be like, dang, like, okay, like, you're right, I completely understand, and they make that change. Those are the types of women that I look for. I love dealing with those types of women because they're willing to say they're wrong. Now, of course, those women, what they have in common is they have strong fathers in their lives or they have strong brothers in their lives, right? But again, it's like that's the type of woman that if you are looking for, that's what you want to look for. Somebody who's willing to listen to you, hear you out, and be like, okay, I get it.
What they want, men learn to cater to women's models of reality. And this is especially problematic when it comes to very attractive women, because these models are much more likely to be founded on lies that other men who have also been trying to sleep with them have told them over the years. For better or worse, less attractive women.
And the delusions of the fantasies that she's made up in her mind, you got to throw those in there too. I am done in 2024 and beyond pretending that women are just floating through lives and they're dumb and they have no idea what it is that they're doing. They know what they're doing. The internet has showed us that women will know the truth and still lie to themselves and pick the lie over the truth. We've seen this plenty of times.
Don't seem to have this issue. This is not because they don't become upset or offended at the truth. They often do. But because men will actually occasionally tell them the truth because they don't really care if they don't get what they want from them. I don't make the news, I just report it. So that's why beautiful women are nuts. No one tells them the truth. The only possible exception occurs when these beautiful women had very strong men in their households growing up. They had a strong father.
What did I say? What did I say? Come on now.
Or strong brothers. This is because these men might be the only men in the world who aren't trying to fuck them. And because of that, they may potentially be able to apply appropriate consequences to the tantrums and emotional fallout that can occur when you tell women the truth. These men are these women's best chance of remaining in touch with reality. Unfortunately, even though these fathers and brothers probably love and care for these women more than any other man does, some of them still won't respond well to this accountability, and they fall further and further down the rabbit hole into Wonderland. So there you go. Men want to fuck beautiful women, and telling women the truth doesn't get them laid. So that's why beautiful women are nuts. What do you?
And that's something that I want to mention too, because whenever this is like my trump card, my checkmate, right? If I'm ever in a dispute or argument or debate or whatever you want to call it with a woman on worldview, I just simply ask them, especially when I know it's ridiculous, right? I ask them, I say, what does your father think about that? What does your brother think about that? Go talk to them and see what they tell you. Because I know if I use that card, then it's like a fundamental thing that if you ever said that to a man would be like, what are you talking about? It's obviously X, Y, Z. And most times when I play that trump card or that trap card, that's when it's like, oh no, I'm not doing that, or block or whatever, right? But that lets me know that deep down, you know that what you're saying is BS or it's wrong. You get what I mean? But again, what do you guys think? Why do you think why beautiful women are nuts? Do you have any experience with this? Let us know down in the comments. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace out.